Oh, trying to decide if I want to drink now or wait till after the show.
Up to you.
We are going live now. What's up, all y'all trickly bastards? Welcome back to It's 1700 Somewhere. As always, I am Athen.
I'm Desiree.
I'm Josh.
Yeah, we don't have Connor here today. I think him being in the UK and all that stuff is kind of getting to be a little bit too much for him to get on the show. I understand it, so it's not that much of a big deal. So, yeah. So, how was everyone's week this week?
Long.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't do anything. I don't think I did
We
anything.
went to Portland Monday. Was it Monday?
I do believe it
Yeah,
was.
it
Yeah,
was Monday.
it was Monday.
Yeah, and we went to Justin's appointment, and that was crazy because we found out he's gonna need more than what we thought he was gonna need. They're gonna be stretching his muscles and also doing bone surgery to rotate his thigh bones. Because right now his legs are going bow-legged, and they don't want that. And he's also gonna have hand surgery at the same exact time. So poor child. And we got to meet up with Gabe, which was absolutely amazing.
And we
I'm
ate
sure
some
he's
of
gonna watch at some point.
his and his friend's pizza because they have a pizza shop there in Portland called 21st Century
It's
Pizza,
called, yes.
and
If you're in Portland, check it out.
some good ass stuff right there.
It was the one of the best pizzas I've ever eaten in my life.
Yep.
It was good. It was yummy. But that's my week.
Yeah, I didn't do anything this week. Did I do anything? No, I didn't do anything.
Well, you
I
played
played
some
a lot.
video games,
Yeah, I played video games. That's about it.
so
That's his normal week.
Yeah.
normal week.
Ugh.
So,
We'll be right.
Yeah.
I'll be
all
right
right,
back.
Raj. All right, so let's see what we got going on here. I need to monitor
Did I
comments.
do anything? No, I didn't do anything.
High tech. You played
Played
some
a lot.
video games. High tech gets upset. He's
Yeah,
like,
I played video.
you were in
games.
Portland, didn't even call or say hi. What's our excuse on that one?
It's It's because we went on a Monday and we didn't go until like late afternoon on Monday. His appointment was like 1:45 and we didn't get out of his appointment until 3:30. But we'll be back in Portland on the 26th in a couple weeks and we will call or stop by because we drive through Oregon City on our way out half the time that we are there. So, um, yeah, we can plan something to come say hi to you guys. Okay? I know you guys came and showed up, and we'll do a surprise attack. I promise. Or just a hangout sesh. And yes, I just said that.
Well, if we were to come into town on Sunday evening, we didn't actually come into town on Sunday this time because
We
we couldn't
didn't.
afford to get a hotel. So, but like usually we come in on Sunday, and what we'd like to do is actually crash your guys' show sometime too. But we need to do some cooperation on that with probably high tech.
Well, on the 26th, we're gonna go to Portland again, and his appointment's not until 2, and we should be out of there by 3:30. So we can make plans, okay? We'll stay in touch. We'll make plans.
So he
Yeah,
gets
I'm
off
making plans.
work in Portland at 3:30.
That's what I said. His next
He said,
appointment.
"Tesh." Oh, geez. So,
Whatever. Get off my back, freaking high tech. Come on now.
so yeah. With all that, there's a lot of things going on this last week as far as
Yes.
stuff goes. Just a quick recap of things that we have to cover this week. There's a lot of stuff going on as far as gaming and tech, because E3's been going on. Some of the games there have got some big stories about them, especially Call of Duty. So we'll talk about that probably a little bit closer towards the end of the show. We got some stuff going on with Iran that's looking pretty serious. A whole bunch of other things. We got Des got several things she wants to talk about as well. So,
Yep.
does Josh got himself some fun facts set up?
Nope, I
Nope.
ain't doing them no more.
You ain't doing fun facts no more?
I'm just kidding. That was a fun fact. I might be doing fun facts.
Whatever.
Alright.
Whatever.
So,
Well, high tech, I promise. We'll make plans for the 26th for sure. And it's not going to be the only time we're going to be in Portland. We're going to be in Portland a whole lot more now that, he's having his surgery. In fact, we'll be there for 3 days.
I thought you liked this on your back with a little light hair pulling. I kid.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, your lord.
Wow. Wow. Just whatever. uh,
La 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 la. La la la.
yeah, that just happened.
Alright, so. Alright, so I guess we can go ahead and roll into some of the stories. Let's see what we got going on here. Scrolling. Reminds me of that song. Scrolling. Keep that Discord scrolling.
I don't think that's how it goes.
That's not how it goes.
Alright.
At all, period.
So we could start one of the comical stories this week. So earlier this week, I don't know if you may have heard about it, but Justin Bieber decided he wanted to challenge Tom Cruise to a UFC fight. Did you guys hear anything about that?
I did not.
I read about it.
Yep.
And then Conor McGregor said he'd host it, and Oscar De La Hoya said he'd host it. And
Oh, I didn't hear about Oscar De La
Now-
Hoya.
yeah, and now Bieber's saying it was just a joke.
Yeah, he's like, nah, he'd whoop my ass. It's like, whatever, dude. He's just backing out. And freaking Conor McGregor challenged Mark Wahlberg to a fight.
Yeah, I
too.
saw that too.
So, but yeah, I guess in there, I don't know how true it is, but I saw some things where I guess Tom Cruise replied to the post that Justin Bieber did, and he's like, I don't hit women.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then someone's like, what was it? Is it a boxer that hits people? Not Rick Brown, Bobby, fucking the guy who beat up the Rihanna chick.
Chris Brown.
Brown.
Chris Brown.
Yeah, Chris Brown. There's other people like, hey, Justin Bieber, you should challenge Chris Brown to a fight because he's okay with hitting women. And just,
Oh.
it's fucking, they're getting pretty evil about it. So, but yeah, some of the comedy there with that this week, and then we got some another story I want to go into that's a little bit different. I don't know if y'all knew, and I think it's actually already over. I did see some pictures of it last night. But this week, Jupiter was close enough to the Earth that you could see it and its moons, its 4 moons, through binoculars. Sadly, I
wanna see
didn't.
my moon?
Sure, but
No.
all 4 of them. No, but sadly, I didn't know about this being a thing until just here within the last couple days, and I don't have a pair of
It was like
binoculars
from the
either.
10th to like the 13th.
Yeah.
So it was like a 3-day window
Mhm.
kind
But
of
it's
thing.
like,
yeah.
I don't have a pair of binoculars either, so even if I wanted to go out and try to see it, I couldn't. But if you had been able to see that, then good on you. That's some pretty cool stuff. Like, I saw a picture last night someone took. It was the moon, and then just off to, like, the bottom left of the moon, you could see Saturn, and then all 4 of the moons flanking it. So, that was pretty neat. I would have liked to have gotten, well, I don't even have a camera that could take a picture that well. So, she didn't deny it. Oh, no fun.
And I said behave.
JD will kick my ass. So yeah, if you're interested in astronomy and stuff like that, yeah, Jupiter stuff, that would have been some cool stuff. In fact, I mean, if you have any pictures of it, I'd love to see them. You can feel free to send them to us. Other news, I want to go into the astronomy news a little bit more with that because there's been some other news popping out this week and regarding space and astronomy. Let me see if I can find the article right quick. Apparently I didn't put the article in. Maybe it's further up. I don't know. Apparently I didn't put it in, but there is or has been talk about a large meteor that is that first they said it's not possible that it's going to even be, a chance that it's going to hit the planet, but now they're actually changing everything and they're saying that there is a small chance. I mean, it didn't seem like it was that hugely small of a chance, but they're saying, it's almost unlikely that it's going to hit, but there's still a small chance that the meteor might actually strike the planet. And this meteor is, I think it said it was something like twice the size of the meteor that actually exploded in the air over Chelyabinsk, the place in Russia a couple years ago. There was that big explosion that happened during the day.
Okay.
Because it was a meteor.
You want to see my big explosion?
Yeah, dude. All over your face.
I'm sorry. I keep doing innuendos. I can't help it.
But yeah, the Chelyabinsk thing where the meteor exploded over the city and caused a lot of damage. I guess this one's supposed to be something like twice the size of that or something like that. So, and there is a chance it could hit the planet, which it wouldn't be a planet-ending one, but it would certainly be enough to do some damage to a city if it did strike. So, be watching out for that. Be looking at the skies. Maybe you'll see something cool coming. It's supposed to happen when? September?
Maybe you'll see your city blow up.
Maybe you'll see your city blow up. So lots of things happening in space lately. So, yeah. So, I guess, I don't have to be the only one talking about things. Let's see. High Tech says, how about the Star Trek symbol NASA found?
I was about ready to talk about that. I have it pulled up right now.
Well, let's talk about it there, Diz.
So, it was yesterday or the day before. But it says, it may be time to hail Starfleet.
Can you send it to me on Messenger so I can put it in the comments? The story?
That would be a no.
Shut the fuck up, Josh. Hold on a minute.
If you have to think about it, if you're capable of doing it.
Come on, hit Philly.
Oh
Why? Is it because Will Smith was raised there? Terrell Guel says, hey, all, what's up? What's up? So, sorry.
So, while she's pulling up the story,
right.
I don't know if anyone saw, but the Raptors won the NBA Finals.
The Raptors won the NBA Finals?
Who cares?
Klay Thompson tore his ACL, so both him and Durant are expected to be out next season.
Oh, damn. And ACL is a rough injury, too.
Yeah. Well, Kevin Durant ruptured his Achilles.
Really? That one's an even worse one. If that one's bad enough, that can't even be fixed.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Because
now everyone, it's been, the past, 2-3 days, I think 2 days, whatever it's been since they played. That's all that's been on ESPN and all, nonstop. That's all they talk about.
Yeah.
I think it's starting to die down now, but, every single show, First Take, Get Up, all of them, that's all they talked about was the Warriors and Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson's injuries and
so
how it affects the league, and is Kevin Durant going to stay with the Warriors or is he going to leave, and fucking all kinds of shit.
I actually saw a meme basically about that. I think it was this morning actually. It was saying how one dude, like you were saying, tore his ACL. He walked off the court. Another dude tore did something with his Achilles, and he walked off the court, and then this other dude had to use a wheelchair to go take a shit.
What?
I don't know. Like I didn't really.
I don't know about that one.
So I don't know.
But yeah,
But
it was funny
Wait,
because
so hold up. Oh, go
Oh.
ahead, Josh.
no, go ahead. I'm done. I
No,
guess.
you go ahead. No, go away.
It was funny because when Klay Thompson hurt his knee, they took him out. He was walking through the tunnel, and then someone was like, "Hey, if you don't take your free throws, you can't come back in the game." So he came back out and did his free throws, and then he didn't return.
oh damn, on a torn ACL
Huh?
or yeah, torn ACL. He
Yeah.
did. Damn.
Yeah. I mean, he was walking fine. Well, not fine, but he was trying to like run it off and shit. Like, and they were like, "Nope,
That ain't something you can be able to run off.
can't run that off, buddy."
Nope.
Okay, so here's the article about the Star Trek symbol. It says it may be time to hail Starfleet and see whether they've set up a base on Mars. And where is it? NASA's Mars orbiter captured an image of a strange chevron on the Martian surface that looks similar to the symbol for Star Trek Starfleet. An organization of space exploration. Can you just read it?
You want me to read it? Why?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's you're better at reading stories.
So
At least this one.
NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter captured an image of a strange chevron on the Martian surface that looks similar to the symbol for Star Trek Starfleet, an organization of space exploration, diplomacy, research, defense, and peacekeeping. But how did it end up on the red planet? The shapes were found in the southeast Hellas Planitia region of Mars, created by wind, lava, and dunes. At some point in Martian history, crescent-shaped dunes were in the area. An eruption sent lava spilling out, moving around the dunes but not covering them. As the lava cooled, the dunes pointed up like islands. But they were still dunes, so the wind could move them. And the dunes essentially migrated. Their footprints, called dune casts, were left behind in the lava field. So no, it's not an alien habitat or Starfleet base, unless the United Federation of Planets has some explaining to do. Oh, and that was the article.
It was Batman.
Batman did it.
That's pretty neat, right?
Mhm.
Splitting up Batman.
He's a huge Star Trek fan.
But that is pretty neat.
I guess this week was actually the anniversary of Adam West's death, so it was like 3 years ago, I think, that he passed. So, but yeah.
What, Adam West?
hmm
No, that was this year, wasn't it?
Was it this year?
Yeah, because Family Guy did like a tribute episode for him.
Because I saw someone post about him.
I mean, I could be wrong, but it might have been, but I'd have to look it up now because I'm not sure.
Yeah, I saw someone post a story about him having died, but it's like I knew it didn't just happen, but I thought that was at least like a a thing on.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. It was 2017.
Okay. So
Adam West, Mayor
Yeah.
West.
Mayor West. So, Terrell Gwell says the Conn Smith winner Ryan O'Reilly from the Blues had been playing with cracked ribs since round 2 of the playoffs. Okay,
He's talking about hockey.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Elon Musk left
Well,
it
it's
when
like-
his Tesla passed.
I just read that.
Well, it's like Carson Wentz tore his when he tore his ACL. He fucking kept playing for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, cracked ribs. However, I mean, I've
cracked
had-
ribs suck dick, but usually they'll be like, "Here's a shot of Novocaine." You know what I mean?
yeah, it's like cracked ribs. They can't really. I don't think I've really cracked ribs. I know I've bruised them, and that hurts bad enough.
I've cracked mine. It sucks dick.
Yeah, but
yeah, it's hard to shit.
But it's like, yeah, it hurts. I know just having bruised ribs, it hurts bad.
Yeah,
But
it hurts.
there's not really much they can do about it except for give you some painkillers, like you were saying.
Oh, and wrap it.
Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
For athletes, they like I said, they usually just give them a shot of Novocaine
Mm-hmm.
to numb it, wrap it up, and you know
Wrap it up. That's what you need
can't
to
do shit about it.
Oh,
Just
yes.
hope you don't get hit in the ribs again.
Yeah. You could probably use a flak vest. Because,
Yeah.
like in football, I know they have, like, quarterbacks will use flak vests. So, I don't know. But, let's see here. Moving right along. So, in other news that we're just going to mention, sound like Russia is not very happy with Putin. I guess people are putting up mock gravestones of Putin for around there.
Putin's not Putin out.
Yeah, Putin's not Putin out. So they're unhappy with him, and they're letting it be known that it sounds like they wish he was dead. So now we have some news in the medical marijuana or just marijuana type thing. Got a couple stories here. One of them, it's a constructive or medical marijuana study reveals a counterintuitive link to opioid overdoses. So as scientists, when we find something that isn't working, it's our job to report it. Let's see what this is about. Anti-drug advocates have long claimed cannabis is a gateway drug, leading inevitably to harder drugs. Cannabis activists have argued the opposite, saying that it can help people get off of harder drugs, like those feeling the current opioid overdose crisis. Each of these rationales have been used to push pro- and anti-cannabis legislation, but research and proceedings in the National Academy of Sciences published Monday suggests that the relationship between legal marijuana and opioid deaths is far more complicated than either of these two claims suggest. This paper shows that from 2010 to 2017, people in states with medical cannabis laws had 22.7% greater risk of opioid overdose than people in states without them. This is the complete opposite of the effect shown in 2014 JAMA internal medicine study that showed a 24.8% lower risk of opioid overdose death in states with medical cannabis laws between 1999 and 2010. Chelsea Shover, PhD, a postdoctoral research fellow at Stanford University School of Medicine and the study's first author, tells Inverse that this reversal suggests that there may not be a direct connection between medical cannabis laws and opioid overdose deaths. I think the most logical explanation is that these two things are not causally related, she says. We saw an association before, we see the opposite now. We don't think cannabis was saving people before and killing people now. We think these are two unrelated things. Shover and her colleagues embarked on this research in the hopes of replicating the results from the 2014 study in a different time period. They had the added benefit of data from the subsequent 7 years during which many more U.S. states had legalized medical cannabis. As of 2017, 45 states had medical cannabis laws on the books. So if the pattern from that 2014 paper held true, this analysis would show it. But what they saw was the opposite. Instead of a negative association between medical cannabis laws and opioid overdose deaths, they saw a positive one. While it's tempting to say this suggests medical cannabis is contributing to overdose deaths, Shover says it is more likely to be a reflection of which states have legalized medical cannabis. In 2010, the states that had legalized medical cannabis, California, Oregon, Washington, and Colorado, for instance, were generally pretty different from the rest of the country. By 2017, that difference goes away, she points out. The other possible reason for this change is even simpler. There's no relationship between them. If these are not truly related, it's not surprising the association we found is changing over time, she says. If one is not causing the other, it's not surprising that the relationship looks different. Shover is careful to note that these findings are about populations and not individuals. Because it's an ecological study, we're not making recommendations about what an individual might do, she says. We're not even commenting on the potential therapeutic effects of cannabinoids or medications derived from cannabis. It doesn't make sense based on our study for an individual to say, this is how I'm going to treat my pain. But she says it does make sense to use this research to scrutinize claims from the cannabis industry or from policymakers. Shover and her co-authors hope that this research will contribute to improving public health policy focused on the opioid overdose crisis in the U.S., which is getting worse every year. So, Medical marijuana may or may not actually be linked to opioid stuff. I don't know. That was kind of open-ended. It's like it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. So,
I have a marijuana story.
okay, let me do this one real quick, and then we can get on that one. So, and then we have this one other story about medical marijuana. Continuing on with the opioid thing that was just talking about. I'm linking this in comments. I've already read this one, so I'm just going to kind of paraphrase it. Effectively, they think that they have found the first case in, I think it was America, where someone actually possibly overdosed from marijuana. So there was a woman in Louisiana. I believe she was, let's see, she was 39 years old. The coroner, when they did their investigation, the only thing they found in her system was cannabis. It wasn't a really high level of cannabis, but that doesn't actually really correlate because THC in your system will actually fade away quick and only leave trace amounts, and that's what they usually test for is the trace amounts. But that was the only thing she had in her system. She had no other drugs. She had no alcohol, none of that stuff. But she died because of a respiratory issue that they believe is because of having smoked marijuana. One thing about marijuana is it does actually depress your respiratory system, and it is actually known that it can, in fact, cause things like panic attacks and anxiety with it because it increases your heart rate. It'll decrease your respiratory stuff. So that's a common thing to like an actual overdose because a lot of people who don't use marijuana and they start using it all of a sudden, and they'll go and get some edibles and they eat too much of them. Often they'll like end up calling 911, call an ambulance and all that stuff because they're having a cannabinoid overdose. So, which in most cases, you really just have to just kind of wait it out, honestly. But if you smoke way too much and those symptoms hit you, then I don't know. But there are other people saying that.
Wasn't she using a vaporizer?
Yeah, she was smoking it through a vape, so she was getting a more concentrated dosage of the THC from it because she was, vaping oils, and that's kind of one of the issues with having a vape because you can just sit there and puff, 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 and just keep doing it. Like I think that's how when I was vaping, just regular vape juice with not THC, nicotine in it, to try to quit smoking a while back. I ended up overdosing myself on nicotine, which led to one of my panic attacks because I was doing that. I was just sitting there constantly puffing on the vape. So, I mean, it can happen, but there's people saying that they highly doubt that it was the cannabis that actually caused her to die. There's no real solid proof that it was, except for the fact that that's the only thing they found in her system after she had died, and she was otherwise healthy and all that stuff. So, take it as you will, take it as you want. I linked the article in the comments if you want to read it. Julio Ryan Spud checking in. What's up? What's up? So, yeah, so go ahead with your story.
So mine is actually a funny story out of Indonesia.
Okay.
So here's the article. Sometimes we don't think things through, and that's perfectly normal. But this incident, this is just too much. Someone needs to fire and erase, delete, expel, everything rolled up into one. The person who came up with this dumb but hilarious idea. Turns out, police in West Jakarta in Indonesia got people insanely high when they tried to burn 3 tons of marijuana. Not only were they burning cannabis, oh no, the fire included 2,538 ecstasy pills and 2 pounds of crystal meth. Why? To destroy the illegal imports in a fire. According to reports, the police officers anticipated the fumes created by the burning drugs would be potent, powerful, and were prepared by wearing gas masks. But it seems like they forgot to inform locals in the surrounding area, and a number of people complained, saying they suffered from dizziness, headaches, and reportedly felt completely high.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, but what? In what mind did they think that this is a good idea? Safe to say, everyone got a fix of what it feels like to be beyond the level of high without even knowing what was going on. Can you imagine those poor people? This is how I think every conversation went, and it left to like, pretty much, high talk.
Mhm.
We should get food. Oh no, like, let's
Go to
sleep.
White Castle.
Yeah. Freaking.
but yeah, so they decided that it was going to be a good idea to burn 3 tons of marijuana without letting even the locals know, and everybody ended up getting high in the process.
Well, it's like that's how they deal with uh, it here in America, like drugs and all that stuff that have been confiscated for evidence, and after everything's done, they destroy it just the same, but it's taken to like incineration places, so there's not that much of a
Yeah, but not out
mm,
in an actual middle of nowhere with a town nearby, and they got high off the fumes.
mm. So, um, let's see. Going on to other stories. Here's one that's kind of a little bit into politics, talking about some of the things that are going on in foreign politics. So, people are starting to think that Kim Jong Un, the guy from North Korea,
But the short little man.
yep, the short little man. People,
Oh, so,
people are starting to think that he was killed by his brother had him assassinated because he was a CIA informant. So, and there's lots of other thoughts on that because I guess Kim Jong Un, his health isn't in the best of states, I guess, and as far as the secession goes in North Korea, as of right now, he's the only person that's really eligible to be the whatever they are, the dictator of North Korea, I guess. And at that, his brother was eligible to end up become the leader, but Kim Jong Un didn't want that to happen because he was. I think it was because his brother was a supporter of the U.S. and would have tried to put North Korea in a direction that they don't want. And at this point, if Kim Jong Un were to die, some of the more likely things that would happen is they would have like an interim government until they could decide who was going to be the leader. North Korea could break down into civil war, or the entire Korean Peninsula could be reunited and unified again. So I don't know, but yeah, with that, they're thinking Kim Jong Un's brother was assassinated for working with the U.S. We'll move on. And everyone got the munchies. Shelly Rich King says, "What's up?"
I was gonna say something.
Most likely.
I don't remember what it was. Oh, oh yeah. Did you see the gyro drop? You heard about that?
The driver. Oh, that fair ride.
Amusement ride.
Yeah,
Yeah, in South Korea.
that's a big nope for me.
It's
Yep,
fake.
same here.
Oh, it's fake.
Yeah, it's fake.
Okay, because I saw a video of that. How'd they make that fake?
I don't know. I just saw a bunch of article headlines that said it was fake.
Okay, well that's good because I would never write it anyway. So-
I would. Hell yeah, get drunk and go on that son of a bitch.
Oh hell no. I would not.
Oh, yeah.
That's not my.
It's fake though.
Yeah.
I didn't read the articles. I just read the headlines, and there was like 4 or 5 article headlines, like CNN, like a bunch of places like that, NBC News and shit, and they were all saying it was fake.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you had any plans to try to go ride that ride, I guess your hopes will
Yeah.
be dashed.
Yeah,
So-
you spent your money on nothing.
Yep. So,
I mean, have fun in South Korea.
yeah, some other stories that are happening this week. Not gonna get too deep into it, but there's some serious shit going on with Iran right now. Iran has apparently launched some missiles at one of our drones, and they've also been attacking tankers in the area. And then also here recently, this is what this article is about. Here recently, there was a near collision with a Russian ship and an American ship in the Philippine Sea. And apparently, during the situation, there were some Russian sailors chilling on the decks sunbathing. And a Russian admiral says that that's perfectly normal stuff that they do during lunch breaks, which, I mean, having been in the Navy and been on board ship, unless we were doing like a Still Beach picnic, that shit wasn't going to happen. Nobody's going to be chilling on the weather decks freaking sunbathing.
Oh yeah, let me get my tan on.
I mean, because even if you're out there PTing, you have to be in a specific uniform. So, and like, unless, you know, you're special operations and all that stuff, and then you can kind of do whatever you want. But yeah, so the Russians are out there taunting our ships and sunbathing while they're doing it. So yeah. And then that didn't have anything to do with Iran though. So, but yeah, but I forgot the article I was talking about. Yeah, but yeah, there's that. The Russians took a run at one of our ships and they were sunbathing on it. So that's interesting stuff. Let's see, Dean Cerny, Iran is about to get turned into a real puddle if they don't knock it. Yeah, I know. Iran's about to have some issues if they don't freaking stop their taunting. And it sounded like they're pushing. It might be something that actually happens. We might actually, because it really sounds like Iran wants to go to war with us for whatever reason. And
Iran.
Iran.
We're
So,
not
I saw a meme about that yesterday. Dan Lee, he shared it. He's like, it says, 30 years later, and I still haven't found out where this guy was running to. So and then I was like, and I commented, I was like, I always just assumed he was trying to be like the Proclaimers, run 1,000 miles too. And Dan was like, yeah, but at least they had a direction. So, but yeah. More science stuff. Chernobyl, since it's, you know, been a hot topic lately because of that TV show and that they have on HBO, which we actually haven't even started watching yet. We probably should at some point. But
I know, I haven't watched it either.
You said you watched the first episode.
I watched the first episode and it does actually seem pretty good, but I haven't been watching any more of it because I feel that that's something that we might enjoy watching together. Either way, the Chernobyl has become a refuge for wildlife 33 years after the nuclear accident. And today, in the Chernobyl exclusion zone, bears, bisons, 200 bird species, and more exist. So I read an article on this actually a year or two ago. It might have actually been from the same news source. I get a lot of my science stuff from inverse.com. So let's see. Reactor number 4 of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant suffered an explosion during a technical test on April 26, 1986. As a result of the accident, in the then Soviet Union, more than 400 times more radiation was emitted than that released by the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima in 1945. It remains the largest nuclear accident in history. Decontamination work began immediately after the accident. An exclusion zone was created around the plant, and more than 350,000 people were evacuated from the area. They never returned, and severe restrictions on permanent human settlement are still in place today. The accident had a major impact on the human population. Although there are not clear figures, the physical loss of human lives and physiological consequences were huge. Estimates of the number on human fatalities vary widely. It's like, I think the estimates range from like the thousands up into the hundreds of thousands. The initial impact on the environment was also important. One of the areas more heavily affected by the radiation was the pine forest near the plant, known since then as the Red Forest. This area received the highest doses of radiation. The pine trees died instantly and all the leaves turned red. Few animals survived the highest radiation levels. Therefore, after the incident, it was assumed that the area would become a desert for life, considering the long time that some radioactive compounds take to decompose and disappear from the environment. The forecast was that the area would remain devoid of wildlife for centuries. But today, 33 years after the accident, the Chernobyl exclusion zone, which covers an area now in Ukraine and Belarus, is inhabited by brown bears, bison, wolves, lynxes, Przewalski horses, and more than 200 bird species, among other animals. In March 2019, most of the main research groups working with Chernobyl wildlife met in Portsmouth, England. About 30 researchers from the UK, Ireland, France, Belgium, Norway, Spain, and Ukraine presented the latest results of our work. These studies included work on big mammals, nesting birds, amphibians, fish, bumblebees, earthworms, bacteria, and leaf litter decomposition. The studies showed that at present the area hosts great biodiversity. In addition, they confirmed the general lack of big negative effects of current radiation levels on the animal and plant populations living in Chernobyl. All the studied groups maintain stable and viable populations inside the exclusion zone. A clear example of the diversity of wildlife in the area is given by the TREE project, Transfer Exposure Effects, led by Nick Beresford of the UK's Centre for Ecology and Hydrology. As a part of this project, motion detection cameras were installed for several years in different areas of the exclusion zone. The photos recorded by these cameras reveal the presence of abundant fauna at all levels of radiation. These cameras recorded the first observation of brown bears and European bison inside the Ukrainian side of the zone, as well as the increase in the number of wolves and Przewalowski horses. So, in continuing on with this, the article that I remember reading about this, back when I read it, it was saying that, with this, all these animals that they're having there actually seem to be healthier and doing better than they would had the nuclear incident not happen there. Like it's because of the exclusion zone, and they're not being any humanity there. It's like being reclaimed by nature, and it's actually almost like a wildlife refuge now. So, which is pretty neat. I mean, it's interesting how that is. Us as humans can't go there because, we'll die and our kids will end up with cancer, but, it's perfectly good for the wildlife. So. Oh, here's the story on that asteroid impact. Wanted to find earlier.
A little too late.
Yeah, I know, right? So, but I found it. That's what it was. So, it's just wanted to something I was talking about earlier. I couldn't remember. The odds of the asteroid actually hitting the planet. It's a massive football-sized asteroid. It has a 1 in 7,300 chance of smashing into the Earth on the morning of September 9th, 2019. So, but it most likely won't hit us. So, and then there was one other thing. It's double the width of the meteor that exploded in the atmosphere over Chelyabinsk in Russia. Is a diameter of 164 feet. So it's a pretty good sized rock. It will definitely do some damage to a city, but it won't kill the planet. So, yeah. Yep.
So, have you heard about that mushroom they discovered that eats plastic?
I actually heard a little bit. I didn't know it was a mushroom. I heard it was like a fungus or something like that, but I've heard a little bit about it.
Fungus.
It's like it eats plastic and it excretes. You probably know more about it. You asked about it, so you tell us about it, Josh.
Well, I'm just reading about it now.
Oh, okay.
They were saying like it doesn't use oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
So effectively, you could plant it at the bottom of landfills and let it fucking eat the plastic.
So
they're saying more research has to be done, but I can't see what it excretes. I didn't see anything about that.
I thought I saw something about it, like eating the plastic and then actually excreting something else, but I may be thinking of something else, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, that could be helpful for cleaning up the ocean to some extent, but then you also have to consider what type of effect that would have in general as well.
Let's see. It says the mushroom's plastic devouring properties were first discovered in 2011 when a team of Yale undergraduates and their professor traveled to Ecuador for a research trip. They found the mushroom in the Amazon and were astounded to find that the fungus not only subsists on plastic, polyurethane, it's the first plant to sustain itself only on plastic, but could do so without oxygen. So they're saying effectively they could be planted at the bottom of landfills and eat its fill of plastic for eons to come.
I mean, that could be actually a really useful thing for it, and it brings me to another question. Like, so is this a type of species that is like kind of evolved and became something because of human influence? Because plastic, polyurethane and stuff like that, that's not a natural substance.
Yeah, I don't know. I doubt it. I mean, I don't know. They found it in the Amazon, so
That's weird.
it's not like they found it in some city. Like,
Yeah, but that's really weird because it's like it's not a natural substance. So it's like in the Amazon, something evolving to eat plastic and plastic only that's
someone fell asleep with a Snickers wrapper and ate it.
yep. So that's it.
I mean, obviously I'm kidding, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, it just goes to show the Earth is gonna figure out a way to fix problems. Fucking Mother Nature knew billions of years ago that our planet was gonna have some problems with fucking plastic. So it's like let's throw them this bone right here. Let's see if they can figure it out. Something like that, I guess. I don't know. So
I thought it was interesting.
So oh yeah, I saw that. You can cover that if you want, babe. So
No, you can.
okay.
I have another story.
So let's see. What time are we at? How much time do we have? So it's all only quarter four. All right. So here's one I wanted to talk. I'm not gonna go in and read the whole article because I already have. But basically there's the situation going on right now. There was in 2018 there was an Army veteran who was arrested for DUI. Everything is saying he had a good job. He was a pretty level-headed individual, all that stuff. And what happened while he was in jail is he died while he was in jail for the DUI. It was, and it's like they were saying he was healthy and all that stuff. But and reports from the deputies that were inside the jail at the time that he died was that he was being very aggressive and violent, slamming his face against the door and spitting at them and all kinds of stuff like that, which a lot of his friends and family are saying does not sound like anything, that person would have been doing. But either way, when it came for the family to retrieve his body, it turns out that his heart, brain, and throat were missing. So during the autopsy, after he died, the coroner at the jail had removed his heart, brain, and throat. And the point of that was they're saying it's done often to during the investigation to just see what all is going on. The family and their family's lawyer and also a pathologist that the family hired themselves are saying that they think the throat especially and then brain and heart were removed in order to cover up a murder, which I'm assuming they're trying to imply that the cops probably put him in a chokehold and he ended up dying because of that, and they removed the throat and brain and heart to cover up the fact that he died from suffocation, asphyxiation. Yeah. So I'll see if I can continue getting more info on that, and I'll keep updates on it as stuff comes out about it on the pages and all that. So
I have a question.
What's up?
What the fuck is a fecal transplant?
A fecal transplant?
I don't know what the fuck that is.
I can't. Yesterday, I was looking through my news articles on my phone, and one of them was someone died from a fecal transplant. I didn't read it because I was like, I don't know what the fuck. Like,
I mean, going based off of just the terminology of it, that would be they took someone else's poop and put it into them. But I don't know. That's not something. I mean, unless it's going for like biomes like flora and all that stuff, so like bacteria and stuff like that would usually be in your intestines that they may not have had, and they would have to take fecal material from a healthy individual and put it into their intestinal tract to get that flora back, possibly, maybe. That's the only thing I could think of.
Okay, this is what it says. I just pulled it up on my phone. It says one patient has died and another became seriously ill after fecal transplants inadvertently seeded their innards with multi-drug resistant bacterial infection.
Oh, MRSA.
The cases highlight the grave risks of what some consider a relatively safe procedure. What the fuck is it, though? I don't know what it is.
I have no idea. I'll Google fecal transplant just because I'm curious now, too. Let's see.
Is it an experimental transplant? Sounds like it's some kind of experimental transplant. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Bacteriotherapy, let's see. From Hopkins Medicine, so this will give us a pretty... Fecal transplantation. Fecal transplantation or bacteriotherapy is the transfer of stool from a healthy donor to the gastrointestinal tract for the purpose of treating recurrent C. difficile colitis. Okay. Ulcerative colitis. Okay. When antibiotics kill off too many good bacteria in the digestive tract, fecal transplants can help replenish bacterial balance. Okay, so exactly what I... Alright, so... Yeah, it's because they don't have enough bacteria. Yeah.
I scrolled down to the bottom and it finally told me what the fuck it was. Says they're intended to replace or replenish the microbial communities that thrive in the intestinal tract.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty neat. I don't really know if I'd like.
I've never heard of a fucking fecal transplant. Sorry.
I don't know if I'd really be down with having someone else's poop put inside me. But hey,
right?
Yeah, no.
Put your shit inside me. I need it. Just shit in my mouth. Fuck it. Sorry.
Oh my god.
Just don't give me MRSA, please.
What the fuck am I listening to? Oh my god, you guys. I'm gonna end up puking.
So Roz Golden said it excretes Apple iPhones, talking about the mushrooms that eat plastic, I'm assuming. So, and then Dean Cerny said it's used in cases where your gut bacteria dies off, mostly from antibiotics. So Dean Cerny gave us the answer to that as well. Thank you very much for that. And then we'll go ahead and check out this article right here that Des wanted me to cover. So, former Five Finger Death Punch drummer sworn in as reserve police officer. Former? Why is he former, first of all? Former Five Finger Death Punch drummer Jeremy Spencer became a Rockport Police Department reserve officer on Sunday. Rockport, Indiana, former Five... Jesus Christ, how many times are you going to fucking put that out there? The guy from Five Finger Death Punch, he was sworn in as a reserve police officer in his home state of Indiana. Again, he announced it on Sunday. That's the third time they've... Oh, Jesus Christ, redundancies. I was recently sworn in as a reserve police officer. Is that all this fucking article is going to be? He's still a resident of Las Vegas, but it's an honor to be able to come back to this area when I can and serve the community as a reserve police officer and help out my work. So people can do that. You can become a police officer and just be like, I'm only going to be a cop when I want to. Or do you have to be a celebrity?
I don't know.
I don't know. But the reason why I read part of it is because he, as a drummer, sustained a lot of back problems, and he had 2 back surgeries, and he decided that as of last year that he wasn't going to be a drummer anymore because of the health problems.
Okay.
And because of the back surgeries, he can't physically drum as well as he, did before the surgeries, and that's why.
But he can go be a cop.
I don't know.
Give him a shot, Novocaine, he'll be alright.
So,
get back in there, it's halftime.
I have a story.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So, a 40,000-year-old severed wolf's head, preserved by permafrost, complete with teeth and fur, has been discovered in eastern Siberia. Let's see. Locals looking for mammoth ivory found the remains of on the banks of a. I'm not even gonna pronounce that because I will butcher it to all hell. Vana River in Siberia. Before bringing it to the Mammoth Studies Department of the Academy of Science of the Republic of... I don't know. These names are so hard for me to even pronounce. Albert Protopopov, director of the department, told CNN that the frozen wolf cub frozen wolf cubs have been unearthed in the past. The discovery of an adult wolf's head was novel. This is the first time the head of an ancient wolf has been found, whose soft tissue has been preserved after 40,000 years. A grown wolf, he said. Scientists are now building a digital model of the brain of the skull's interior and for further study. A team in Stockholm is analyzing the wolf's DNA. The ancient cave lion cub, an extinct species preserved in um, Yukutai, vast areas of permafrost is also being investigated. As the planet warms, the region is likely to yield more remains, according to Protoproverbs. The number of discoveries is growing because of the thaw of the permafrost, he says.
Yep.
Earlier this year, scientists announced discovery of liquid blood and urine within the frozen remains of a 42,000-year-old foal, also preserved in permafrost.
That's pretty neat. Like, I saw that article about the wolf's head a couple days before you shared it, but the article that I read, I could have swore it said it was the more recent, not as old as what the article you put out was, but it was also saying, like, it said that its teeth were still its teeth were still born, like it still had its teeth like out, like it was growling at whatever killed it. And it also said that the head probably likely wasn't a trophy from a hunter. So, like, something else killed that wolf and left its head there.
It's crazy.
So, but
Just the picture of the head looks like a real wolf head
Mhm.
or a real dog head.
and
It doesn't look like it would be 40,000 years old, but
Mhm.
permafrost keeps it
well, it was
so naturally preserved.
preserved and basically being frozen. But
Yeah.
and another thing that the article that I read said was, it was, even though it wasn't like a dire wolf or anything, it was, the normal type of wolf species that can be found there now. It was significantly larger than the largest of the species are now. So that's pretty neat. It said that it was like the head from the base of the head to the snout on this one was, I think it said it was like 16 or 18 inches, whereas the average wolf now is only like 11 inches long. So
Are we talking about penises?
yeah, something like that.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I know we're talking about the wolf.
So, we'll go on. Here's another marijuana story that we have here. So, again, this is from Inverse. Earliest known psychoactive cannabis use discovered in 2,500-year-old tomb. Cannabis that was used in these tombs contained high levels of THC. Around the world, approximately 147 million people use cannabis. For many of them, the goal is to feel the effects of the plant's psychoactive compound, Detra-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, or is that Delta-9? I think that's Delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, better known as THC. While this is no mystery that marijuana can get you high, it's unclear when humans made this discovery. On Wednesday, in Science Advances, an answer emerged. Humans have used cannabis for its psychoactive effects for at least 2,500 years. That's not to say ancient people were rolling blunts at the same time the Olmecs were building pyramids and the Persians sacked Athens. According to the study, people living 2,500 years ago in the Pamir Mountains of Central Asia were using cannabis for religious purposes. Its psychoactive properties likely served as a vehicle for communicating with the divine or the dead, the authors posit. I was surprised that the trace of biomarkers could still be preserved after burning and burial for about 2,500 years. Co-author and University of Chinese Academy of Sciences researcher Yimin Yang, PhD, tells Inverse. I think that's mostly due to the dry climate in the cemetery. The religious hypothesis developed by Yang and his colleagues stems from the location where the THC compounds were discovered, inside 10 funerary incense burners, located at an archaeological site known as Yerzhanko Cemetery in the Pamir Mountains. The compounds, which were extracted from wooden fragments and burnt stones with gas chromatography, mass spectrometry, with gas chromatography mass spectrometry. Jesus Christ. All right. Represent the earliest evidence to date of cannabis being used for its psychoactive properties. Yang says it's likely that the tombs were the incense burners. Were found. What? Yang says it's likely that the tombs where the incense, I think that's supposed to be where, not where the incense burners were found belonged to the Scythians, a group of nomadic warriors whose influence once ranged from China to the northern Black Sea. While now the Pamir region is considered remote, it's speculated that it was once an important stop along the early Silk Road. And let's see. I want to see what it says. It said it was high in THC. So whether it's less clear, the compound. While cannabis does grow in the well-watered habitats of Central Asia, but critically, the levels of active compounds known as cannabinoids in most wild cannabis plants are low. How then did the owners of the funerary incense burners get marijuana potent enough for psychoactive use? The cannabis that was used in these tombs contained high levels of THC, and the compound's presence is extreme enough to imply purposeful selection. One theory outlined in the paper that UV radiation causes cannabis at higher elevations to produce greater quantities of active compounds. So it's possible that the people who roamed the Pamir Mountains were simply exposed to more potent wild plants. Okay. So, these are signs that people who cared for these tombs made purposeful decisions when it came to honoring people who had died. Yeah, so that's all I'm going to read on that one. Alright, so, yeah. Humans were smoking weed 2,500 years ago. That's pretty neat. So, I guess...
I feel like they've been smoking longer than that.
No, they probably have. But, I mean, that's just what we have proof of. Let's check comments real quick. We got Dean Cerny. Let's see. Dean Cerny says, I'm not buying it. The teeth showing is most likely caused by rigor and exposure. The wolf's pack probably ate the body. Yeah, that could be... That actually sounds like a logical... I don't know, my vocabulary just went out the window. The word I was trying to say just completely floated away from me.
Feasible?
Yeah, feasible. Damn it, vocabulary.
I just took a guess.
Feasible will work. So, you want to talk about the FBI having released its Hugh Hefner file?
Who?
Any of us. Let's talk about that. So,
I haven't heard about that. I heard about them releasing the Bigfoot file.
Yeah, didn't we talk about that last week?
I think we just brushed on it.
Okay.
I think I mentioned it, and then we kind of just went away from it.
So the FBI just released its Hugh Hefner file. Here's what it says. The FBI released the file it maintained on Playboy founder and editor-in-chief Hugh Hefner 2 years after the legendary publisher passed away, and it's revealing. The Bureau interviewed Hefner in the late 50s and 60s over what is described as obscene material. The file also contains a memo written to the then director J. Edgar Hoover, in which the agent in charge pitches putting Hefner and his photographer Edward Ottman under surveillance to see if either was transporting pornographic images across state lines. However, the investigation didn't turn up any crimes. Persons interviewed advised that Hefner, too clever to violate federal or local laws, the Bureau's investigation concluded. Jesus. Hefner was later arrested in Chicago for publishing obscene and suggestive photos of Jane Mansfield, but won a jury trial. The file also contains press clippings from a case where Hefner won the right to mail Playboy to subscribers without breaking the law. Read the complete, heavily redacted 58-page file here. I'm not going to do that. 58 pages and heavily redacted. That'll probably be...
Yeah, read all 58 pages.
Right? So, but there...
That's what I want to do with my life.
So, they were... It's hard to believe that, like, at the point... he was being, like, investigated for a crime for, like, transporting pornographic images over state lines. So, like, if you happen to have pictures of your wife in your wallet that showed a titty and you drove across state line, technically you committed a crime?
I don't know about that.
So, I don't know. That's weird and interesting. I don't know, but that was much less of an article than I'd expected it to be. I thought there was going to be a little bit more to it, but nope, there wasn't. So, gastrology and hepatology, stomach and blood, or
So,
what's up?
the fuck? Oh, I was just gonna say, this German woman, she's 102 years old, and she got her PhD, and she's the oldest person to do so.
Really?
Apparently, she was apparently, she was banned from attending her final oral exam in 1938 because the university was a Nazi-influenced university,
Oh,
and they banned her because she was Jewish.
well, that sucks.
So she just got her PhD at 102 years old.
Oh, that's cool though. Even still, that's awesome. I mean, never quit. No. Good on her though. That's awesome. What did I want to say? I don't
I
remember.
don't know what you want to say.
I don't know. I guess we can just move on to the next story. So, apparently this week, Cuba Gooding Jr. is in the news. He was arrested for having inappropriately touched a woman in a bar. It says, forcible touching is what it says he did.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Sorry.
I read the article. I can't remember what it said, but it sounds like what it's saying is he was in a club, and at a certain point there was this chick in there, and he either A, grabbed her ass, or B, grabbed a titty, and then she reported it, and now he turned himself in, is arrested, and they're doing a trial on it. He's pleading not guilty to it. So, and he's
You
got
can grab my ass anytime. I don't care.
he's got a big old smile on his face and all the pictures of him as he's getting arrested and walking in the courthouse and all that stuff. So he seems like he's pretty sure about the whole situation of him not being, having done anything wrong. So
I still wanna say I didn't grab her ass.
so
Oh my lord.
I'll try to
What's
keep
up?
I'll try to keep as much more info on that coming out as I can as it comes out. And then
I'm here all day.
you're here all day. So, and then more stuff about celebrities. You got Keanu Reeves being touted as like America's boyfriend. He's the poster child of all that's awesome and good about America right now. People talking about Chuck Norris passing the torch on to Keanu Reeves. So,
Oh God.
that's some cool stuff. And then we got more stuff to talk about him in a little bit when we get into the tech and gaming stuff, which I think we're getting close to doing. Does anyone else?
I would love to play a John Wick game.
I know, right? I haven't heard anything about a
That
John.
seems fun.
Haven't heard anything about a John Wick game though.
Oh, I haven't. I was just like,
So,
I was just thinking about it, and I was like, that'd be really fun.
do you have any other stories you want to talk about?
I don't. That was my last story.
Okay. So
That
looks
was it.
like we will get into gaming and tech news now. So first thing, I read over this stuff. Not this stuff. I didn't actually read over this. So we got at E3, Xbox, Microsoft. What's up?
I haven't read anything about E3, so I don't know anything about it.
Okay. So E3 this year, Microsoft unveiled its next gen console. So we're gonna hear a little bit about what their next generation console is going to be like. E3 2019 kicked off in style with the Xbox press conference. Along with a shocking amount of brand new game announcements, trailers, and reveals, we finally got our first talk of Xbox's next generation console.
It's gonna have a flashlight built in.
Yeah. So, we got some pictures of some screenshots of Master Chief and Halo Infinite, which looks fucking gorgeous. So this right here seems to be talking more about Halo. Let's get down to where it's talking about the console. Project Scarlet, that's the next console, has a release window of holiday 2020 and will launch with Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite launching with Scarlet. So, and Scarlet is just a code name. I don't believe that's actually what the Xbox is going to be called when it drops. So, as introduced by Xbox top dog Phil Spencer, the new console will be all about choice for the games, people, and devices we want. There seems to be a big focus on reducing load times and promises to be 4 times as powerful as the Xbox One X. The console will sport 120 frames per second, next-gen ray tracing, and 8K support with a new generation of SSDs using virtual RAM. Since Sony is absent from this year's E3, it looks like Microsoft might have already won, quote-unquote, this year's conference.
Whatever.
Keep your eyes on GameByte for all the latest information. Okay, never mind. So that's all it's really putting out about it. So they're talking about the next Xbox being 8K. Like they don't even like 8K TVs are only just now being kind of like.
Well, yeah. I mean,
and it's like if I don't know, like I think but still, I guess it's not coming out until the end of
4K is pretty much mainstream now, so
Yeah.
Who knows?
So, and it's not coming out until the end of 2020, and I'm sure 8K is going to be on the market a little bit more, even starting by that point. But I mean, with the way consoles are going right now, how long do we expect this generation to last? I mean, this one that we're coming out of, that was overall what, about 10 years?
Yeah, consoles' lives usually last about 10 years.
So, I mean, but there were several sub-generations of
Yeah,
of
the newest one supports 4K. There's different generations. It's always like that.
yeah. So, I don't know, but that's neat. I mean, so we'll be looking for more information coming out about the next Xbox when it drops. So, still a year away. So, a year and a half away even at that. So, there will be a lot more news coming out. So, we got another article about every PC game at E3 2019. This is everything we've seen so far.
Before you go into that, I just wanted to say, Fallout 76 came out with a fucking Battle Royale?
Did they really?
They added a Battle Royale, yeah.
This might be what this next article after the every game at E3 is about. Fallout 76 has the potential to be groundbreaking, says player of new game mode or something like that. Best of Flumi and 7 others to Dallas listened to us gripe about the game, to notes and previewed and finally let us play Nuclear Winter. So mayhaps
I'm so tired of Battle Royale games. Like, oh my god. Everyone's doing it. It's just fucking annoying. It was cool when it first came out, but it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't like them personally anyway, so I guess if you like them, good for you, but it's just like everyone's fucking jumping on that bandwagon, dude.
Yeah, I know. I mean, but when you get a popular game, that's what they do. So, I mean, but like Don, he said in comments talking, I'm assuming about the Xbox One lifespan.
It's been 7 years, I think.
7-year lifespan. So yeah, that sounds about right. So I'm not gonna
it usually lasts about 10 years.
I'm not gonna word for word read this article, but so all the games at E3. So far, Elden Ring. We know about that one. We spoke about it a little bit last week. It's from Software, and it's being done in cooperation with George R.R. Martin. We got Cyberpunk 2077. A lot of news has popped out about that. In fact, it being that it actually features Keanu Reeves in it. He is the second most common, I guess you could say, voice actor in the game. He's got the second largest role in the entire game as far as voice acting roles, and they actually used his likeness in the game itself as well. That's pretty neat. I have an article about that a little bit later that I'll actually be reading. Microsoft Flight Simulator. So, if you're into flight simulators, they've got that one announced. So we've got Watch Dogs Legion, which I've seen a little bit about, and that actually looks like it might be a pretty good game. Like, I know first Watch Dogs, I can't recall if I played the first one. I know it didn't really go over too well. The second one was a lot better than the first, but people still had their issues with it. And from what it sounded like, the third Watch Dogs, which will come out, it's saying probably this holiday season, is probably going to be a pretty good game. We got the Outer Worlds. That one I don't know much about. I haven't heard anything about the Outer Worlds.
I read about it a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was a while ago when I read about it. I read it in a magazine.
Oh.
I read it in a book.
Okay. It's a sci-fi RPG from the creators of Fallout and Vampire the Masquerade. Bloodlines, and says we'll be seeing more at the show and we'll let you know how it goes. And this one, this is coming out in October of 2008. So that's
Because it's supposed to take place in space, the Outer Worlds. I think it's supposed to be comparable to like what was that fucking game? What the fuck was it? I can't remember what it's called now. Never mind.
No Man's Sky?
Yeah, I think that one.
Okay. So
I think it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to have like similar concepts. I'm not saying it's going to be like that game, but similar concepts.
I'll have to look a little bit more into that game. So that's supposed to be dropping right alongside Modern Warfare, which we have some other stuff to talk about. We will talk about a little bit about that too here in a little bit. So yeah, October 25th, 2019 is when the Outer Worlds comes out. We got Bleeding Edge, which I actually saw a little bit on that. That looks like it'll be pretty neat. That's gonna be like a Paladin / what's the one from Blizzard that is just like Paladins? Overwatch, yeah. It's supposed to be like a Paladins / Overwatch style game, but it's all melee based combat. So that looks like it's pretty neat. I actually pulled up some articles about it the other night because I'm trying to research some games that are coming out so I can look into them and all that stuff. So that's one of the games that's going to be coming out that I'm actually kind of interested in. I don't know how much it's going to cost or if it's going to be free to play or anything like that. We still have to kind of figure out more on that. But that one's saying, again, that's dropping right alongside Modern Warfare 2 as well. And then we got Phantasy Star Online 2. That was a Sega game. Yeah, that was a originally on the Dreamcast, so that's pretty neat. That's supposed to be coming out spring 2020. I'll tell you what, the Dreamcast was a good system. It sucks that it didn't do well. Yeah, didn't you like Fantasy? Huh? Wasn't Phantasy Star Online one of the games that you liked though on the Dreamcast as well? No, I didn't play it. I played Shenmue. Okay, I remember hearing a lot of people talking about Phantasy Star Online. I've never actually played it. Yeah, I heard a lot of people talk about it. I never played it. So, but yeah, I thought the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast to me was ahead of its time, and it sucks that it fucking didn't do well. Okay. I thought it was a really good system. All right, I'm gonna check the comments real quick because Don's over there talking. He said, Game Pass Ultimate is coming out. It's a bundle for Xbox and PC account. Okay. Outer Worlds is gonna be on Game Pass, and he said Outer Worlds is like Borderlands. Okay. Terrell Guel says Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yep, that's a big one for the C3 as well. And then Don said, or Rage 2 without vehicles. So that's what Outer Worlds is supposed to be. That sounds like it might be an interesting game. I might check that out. There's going to be a Final Fantasy VII Remake? That would be amazing. They are doing Final Fantasy VII Remake. So, and that's looking like it's going to be pretty awesome. A lot of people are excited about that. I went to the wrong tab again. All right, let me go here. So, and then I did it ass backwards. The first Final Fantasy I played was 10. Mm-hmm. And then I went back and played 7 and 8. Because I was like, oh, Final Fantasy actually is pretty cool. First one I ever played was 1. I'm not gonna lie, I played a lot of Blitzball. Yeah, I played. I love sports, and I was like, yeah, I can play Blitzball. Yeah. I remember playing Final Fantasy 1 on the Nintendo. One of the first games that actually no, I never beat Final Fantasy 1. I could never get past the final boss. I mean, I still can't beat Battletoads, so. I can't remember if I ever beat that one either. Halo. I'm telling you right now, you didn't. I remember playing it, but I can't remember too much about it. So we got another drop on Halo Infinite. They've been talking about Halo Infinite, which that one actually looks like it'll be pretty awesome. Final Fantasy VII Remake. They got that one. That's expected to be coming out March 3rd in 2020. No, there's nothing saying whether or not it's going to be on PC though at this point. So that might be disappointing to some people. We got Deathloop. That's another one that I heard about recently that seems like it'll be pretty good. Let's see. It's from Dishonored and it's from the creators of Dishonored and Prey. It's a first-person action game from the creators of Engadget. There was some interesting things about it that made me want to play it, but I can't remember exactly what they were. So I'll see if we have enough time so I can get in and actually talk about some of these games a little bit more. Obviously, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, we've got that one. Ghostwire Tokyo. Damn, there's a lot of... Okay, we're not even touching it yet, so no, we're not going to go through this entire list. I just realized freaking my scroll bar's up here. It's only moved like 2 inches. So, yeah, nope, I'm not going through that entire list of games. I will link it in the comments if you want to be able to actually check it out and see about the games that are being announced at E3 this year. So, here we go. Let me drop this over here.
Did you like the Double Dragon games?
Yeah, I did, actually.
I liked them, too. I like co-op games. Double Dragon 3 was awesome because when you beat a boss, you get his abilities.
Yeah. So, Don says Final Fantasy VII won't be turn-based combat.
Oh, fuck that.
Also
what kind of combat is it going to be?
We'll have to wait for Don to come back on that one. He'll probably know more about it than I do.
I'll just look it up later.
Okay. He says Doom Eternal and Wolfenstein Youngblood look good. Yes, they do. They actually do look pretty...
Where's my goddamn Legend of Dragoon remake, sons of bitches?
They're working on it, Josh. They're working on it.
Yeah, they've been saying that for fucking 20 years.
So, let's see, a little bit more on the gaming stuff. So, the Fallout 76, that stuff you were talking about, I wonder if this is about what you were saying. It's saying it has the potential to be groundbreaking, says player of new mode. Again, they listened to him. They flew him out to Dallas, listened to him gripe about the game, and then previewed. And finally,
I also heard they're adding NPCs as well.
That they need to do that if they want to actually be able to recover anything from Fallout. They need to add NPCs. Because I did play it for a while, and that's kind of the biggest thing. It did actually kind of get boring because there were no NPCs, and it's like, I mean. Even though at the time when I was playing it, I was playing on PC, and I didn't really have any lack of, interaction with actual people. It just felt empty because there was no NPCs. So, Bethesda has gotten a lot of shit for its disastrous launch of Fallout 76 last year, but during E3, the company unveiled a roadmap of content to get the game back on its feet, along with a Battle Royale mode.
See?
And a host of new updates. Nuclear War is the new mode that's hoped to save the game. However, Bethesda's claims of improving the game have been pretty much dismissed by everyone, except those who've played the new content. Over on Reddit, a user by the name of Atenra shared a lengthy post about their experience with Nuclear War after Bethesda invited them and a small group to get their feedback and criticisms. Interesting, Atenra claims they were selected to do this with Bethesda because they'd been very vocal about the issues with the game, and Bethesda wanted to make it right. Bethesda is listening to the community, they care, and I personally know because after being a bit of a pest, they called me directly and it resulted in some playtime with Nuclear Winter, says the poster, who says they have both a day job and work as a mod author for Fallout 4. It's then claimed that Bethesda reached out to 10 people in the Fallout community, each with very different perspectives on Fallout 76. Of the 10, 8 people responded and were flown out for discussions about the game.
I'm gonna start being more vocal now.
Right? Fallout 76 is
Fly me out! I want to play some shit.
I want to play some shit early too. So the devs were there to talk with us, not to us. Writes the Redditor. This was the core staff driving 76, and one by one they came in, talked with us, and actually listened to what we had to say. We asked hard questions, and the Dallas team gave us the time and opportunity to discuss many of them. We pushed back when we felt like they weren't being completely forthright, and in turn we listened and accepted when it was clear they couldn't go into more detail. Quickly it became clear they were not just giving lip service, but really paying attention to our thoughts, suggestions, and criticisms. Speaking specifically of Nuclear Winter, the Fallout fan said this wasn't old school on-the-rails limited preview or a guided walkthrough, but a fast and furious playtest. The OP then went on to explain how Bethesda showed a different side to what's been shown about the company. The playtesting reportedly turned into an intimate meeting between creators showing their pride and joy and disappointed fans who just wanted better. Every single one of us enjoyed the hell out of Nuclear War. Again, this was an alpha build, so what we played will be different than what the launch brings, but I can't stress enough how much I personally loved it. Bethesda isn't completely a faceless monster devouring our money. Summarizing the experience, the user says, "What I will say is Fallout 76 has the potential to be a groundbreaking game with quite literally something for everyone. It could, in the end, cater to nearly every playstyle, satisfying the die-hard fans from the original Fallout to Fallout New Vegas and beyond." Bethesda has yet to verify or deny the claims. Hopefully, the post is 100% truth, because if Bethesda really has held its hands up and asked the fans for their help and opinions, we might finally get the Fallout 76 we were promised. So, I still have Fallout 76, and when they finally do drop Nuclear Winter and all this stuff, I might have to go check it out, see if it did get better, see if they do actually put NPCs in, because that will improve the game like by leaps and bounds. Cameron,
that's what I heard. That's what I heard, that they were adding NPCs, and I knew about the Battle Royale thing, which just fucking turned me off.
Ooh, Don says Battletoads is coming back. Oh yeah, they are doing a remake of Battletoads, aren't they?
I already knew that. Yeah, I already knew that.
I'd forgotten about that. Y'all said adding anything new to Fallout 76 can be groundbreaking since the game is so broken. That's actually legit there, Don. And then Cameron, he said howdy. He's watching with us, so that's pretty awesome. Thank you for watching, Cameron. So let's see, moving forward. Some more stuff about Cyberpunk 77. They're saying there's going to be a mode or a way that you can actually finish the game without killing anyone. And all the stuff that I'm hearing as I hear it, Cyberpunk 2077 is seeming like it's going to be a pretty good freaking game. So I'll be interested in that. It's a AAA game, so I'll have to figure out how I can spend $60 to get it, as well as
just save up $10 of fucking paycheck till then.
Right? So, let's see. And then I wanted to mention this game is called Roller Champions. It's supposed to be competition for a game that Josh and I play often. It's called Rocket League, but it's a little bit different. It's, roller derby. You have a ball and you're racing around the roller derby track and all that stuff, from the best that I could tell. You can go to the Roller Champion, or the Ubisoft website, Roller Champions, for it, and play the E3 demo currently. It's free to play, and it's almost sounding like the actual game itself is going to be free to play. So, I don't know, if you want to check it out, I'll link that in the comments. So, boop, there's that. So, boom. Alright, now that we're done with that, let's see what else we've got. So, Square Enix president weighs in on Final Fantasy VII Remake being cross-gen. So, cross-gen, let's see what they have to say about that. So, Square Enix president weighs in on Final Fantasy VII Remake being cross-gen. All eyes were on Square Enix during E3, as the world eagerly awaited some new information on the upcoming Final Fantasy VII Remake. Thankfully, Square Enix didn't disappoint, showing off an absolutely jaw-dropping trailer and answering a bunch of questions we needed to know about. However, one question that's gone unanswered is whether or not Final Fantasy VII Remake will be a cross-gen title. The game will be releasing March 3rd, 2020, meaning it's likely to be out just a few months before we see the likes of PlayStation 5 and Xbox Project Scarlet. Hopefully, Square is working to make the game cross-gen, so it'll be playable for those who opt for the new consoles and for those who don't. But what's actually going to happen? So this is just a speculation article. They don't actually... Doesn't sound like they know whether or not it's going to be on both the new console and the previous gen console. It seems like it would be a stupid decision to me for them to only put it on the next generation console, because if they're going to miss out on a large portion of their their customers if they only put it on the current gen. You know what I mean, Josh? I think Josh is AFK. So there we go.
Where'd he go?
I don't know. So Terrell Guel says March 3rd is the release date on Final Fantasy VII that he'd seen. So Don asks, what are our opinion of the new Ghostbusters mode in Rocket League? It's actually pretty fun. So the laser tether with the laser tether in the Rocket League, Don, with that, it doesn't seem to actually work if it's in the containment zone already. And then what I've noticed with it is the tether keeps it at the same distance unless you're pulling the ball away from someone else that's got the ball locked onto it. So with the laser tether, you can actually like go at boost speed around the map with still connected to the ball. And actually, I did something pretty neat last night on accident. I was
talking about Ghost Hunt.
Yeah, Don asked about it.
I just got back. Sorry, I did.
Oh, Don asked about it. He asked us what we've thought about the new Ghostbusters mode. And it's like, I did something on accident last night. I was playing, or we were playing, and I had the ball with the tether running towards the containment zone so we could score. And I knew I was going to run out of the tether soon, so I did a tumble like I usually would because I'm starting to learn that the ball will stay out in front of you that same distance no matter what. So I did a tumble to try to get the ball going further, and I actually kind of like launched the ball like a trebuchet into the freaking containment zone, which was pretty awesome. So I really enjoy that game mode. It's fun. So
Yeah, I do that all the time, guys.
yeah, I know. I just learned, guy. Ah. So
I have almost 700 cassettes now because I'm a piece of shit.
yeah.
I don't even play a lot either. I've only played 2 days. 3 days maybe.
Damn. I've only really played it a couple times, honestly, because most of the time when we've been playing lately, we've had to play 4Vs. So, but let's see.
So I need I should be able to buy everything out of the what the fuck everything you can buy the cassettes with. I should be able to buy everything today.
Nice. I don't even really like any of the stuff that you can buy with the cassettes. I think I'm just gonna.
I'm just gonna buy everything anyway. Fuck it.
I'm just
Not
gonna.
like I'm gonna get plenty of cassettes, bro.
I'm gonna spend my points towards the golden eggs first, and then go.
Oh, I'm gonna get all those too.
But it's like, yeah, I'm going for the golden eggs first, and then I'll go for the rest of the stuff.
Because you can only get 5 golden eggs, dude.
I know. I know.
You're gonna fucking be fine. It's not like you're gonna fucking not be able to get them.
Well, I know. I want to do that first, so. But yeah, let's go on to let's talk about Modern Warfare because that's getting a lot of attention lately. So one thing about Modern Warfare is right now the new Call of Duty game that will be coming out in October. The only thing that they've really been talking about Modern Warfare is campaign. It's like that's the only thing that's really been put out about it. They haven't even talked about any other game modes. I don't know. I haven't really heard anything about there being a zombies mode in it. I haven't heard anything about what the multiplayer is going to be like.
I mean, it's still. I mean, you're not going to hear anything for a little bit, man.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it's coming out here in a few months. So, but it's like they're focusing. I think they're trying to focus mostly on the campaign right now because that's what everyone's.
All I hope is they don't do operators and let me create my class.
Mm-hmm. So
if they don't do that, I will not play the game.
Yeah, I can understand that, but it's like so they're focusing in like we have no idea of anything about that as far as like the multiplayer stuff goes because they haven't even been focused on it. Most people have been concerned with campaign modes because Call of Duty the first few Modern Warfare games that was campaign was the big deal with those games. They all had awesome campaign, awesome story, and then
I mean, so was Battlefield.
yeah, so is Battlefield, but Battlefield's gotten away from that as well to an extent. But it's like now they're trying to focus mostly on the campaign, and from what I'm hearing, there's all kind like they're trying hard on the campaign. Like, I read an article where they said that in order to try to bring as much of the gritty, realistic feel of like what it would be like to be in a war zone to it, that after the wildfires in California, they went out and they took scans of like burnt out cars and buildings and all that stuff, so they can use that as models for in the game. And just the ragdoll physics, I guess from what I've been hearing, they're saying about when you kill someone, it's not like in a lot of your games you kill someone and they just kind of like fall over, they're dead. But it's like in this one, they put actual like ragdoll physics into it. Like when you kill someone, they literally just kind of like drop, and stuff like that. So, I mean, and they're it's so much that I watched some videos last night from like, there's one from IGN, there's one from a few others, and a lot of people are having a big deal with how graphic and how just how graphic and how true to the point.
It's not called Modern Sissy Fair.
I know, right? How graphic and how to the point that they were getting with Modern Warfare. People are like, I really hope that they can, that they're going to give it to where, a mode where you don't have to kill people, or they'll make this easier, because people are saying like, I don't want to have to spend 5 hours doing this, or 20 hours or however long it was. And so it's seeming like they're bringing out some controversy with just the campaign mode and all that stuff. So I'm actually really excited about it just based on that. But let's see what this article is saying. It says Infinity Ward says Call of Duty Modern Warfare trailer has 100% no trickery. The next Call of Duty game, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, blew fans away with its reveal trailer, and the hype is 100% real. It seems the hype isn't the only legit thing around here, as developer Infinity Ward has confirmed that what we saw in the trailer was 100% real gameplay with no trickery to speak of. Infinity Ward studio narrative director Tyler Kurosaki has said, "We have so much more to show. I know our fans are dying to see more from the game. Just let me just speak to the fans right now. Everything in the trailer completely 100% in-game running at 60 frames. No magic, no trickery. That is the game. You want gameplay, it's in there. The entire trailer is gameplay. However, we know you want to see actual missions. We know you want to see stuff. Do not mistake our silence at this moment as not having the goods. I have been in the industry for 20-something years. I have never worked on a game where we have the goods like we have in this game. It's coming. Patience. It's coming." So,
what is he going to the Super Bowl?
I know, right? So
taking his team to the Super Bowl? Is that what's up? We've got the goods. We can do it this year.
So, in case you haven't seen the trailer for Modern Warfare or heard really much about it, what we're looking into with it is they're using a completely new engine. They developed a new engine for Modern Warfare, so it's going to be running on a different engine. Just the way your characters move and all that stuff is completely different from how it's happened in previous shooter games in general. Movement and all that stuff is more fluid, more smooth. You got things like night vision goggles. If you turn on night vision goggles, they worked in ways to be able to make just the way when you're in night vision mode in the game seem more realistic, whereas previous iterations of games, when you put on night vision, it basically just
if I shine a flashlight in your eyes, you'll go blind for, what I'm saying?
I'm assuming that actually is what they're trying to work on, because previously in like games with like a night vision, when you switch to night vision, it really just puts a green filter over.
Yeah, tint.
Yeah. So it just lightens lightens the color balance and then puts a green tint over it, and you're like, there you go, night vision. So they're trying to get more realism into it, which is awesome. So, and I'm looking forward to all that. Let's see. Don says, I got the Mr. Miyagi bandana. Oh, he's talking about Rocket League. It was a must. Cameron wants to know if you want to play some Siege. Don said they're focusing on the campaign because the last one completely didn't have it. Yep. He said, but will the dead NPCs shit themselves? That I don't know. Another thing people are complaining about a lot is the fact that you have to kill women. So, and Desiree's over there sleeping.
I was waiting for you to stop talking because I was going to be like, hey, Des, how are you? But
Hey, Des.
What?
Good morning. So, I don't know if they'll shit
I'm
themselves.
bored.
I know you're bored. We're talking about video games.
Yeah,
So, she hates video games.
I do.
So,
With a passion.
but yet we bought you a gaming laptop.
I don't care. I use it for movies. Leave me alone.
Oh, quit with the attitude. So, we're gonna read it here. The very last story that we're gonna do, I'm thinking. Xbox's Phil Spencer on Game Pass, Steam, and the Epic Game Store. So, Microsoft's executive VP of gaming also talks about flight simulators return, Age of Empires 4, and acquiring Double Fine. What the hell is that? You were talking earlier about Double Dragon. I guess they're making a Contra remake as well, Josh. So it says, on Monday, the day after the Xbox E3 briefing where Game Pass for PC was revealed in full, I had the chance to sit down with Microsoft's Executive Vice President of Gaming, Phil Spencer. We talked about the company's approach to selling PC games, its relationship with Steam, and many other things. It's a long read, but hopefully it'll give you a comprehensive overview of where Microsoft sees itself within PC gaming as it stands. Plus, it was a good chance to ask about the current status of Age of Empires 4. So, Samuel Roberts, you were very candid about your history with PC, like in your post last month. I guess this is a conversation between these individuals. Phil Spencer, yes, you think I should hide it? You think you guys won't find it? And he was laughing. I don't want to read this. So.
Yeah, that's...
Alright, I'm not going to read that anymore. They're talking about... Here, I'll just link it if you guys want to read the article about all that stuff. Bloop. And Don said he got to go. Later, dude. He's already gone, though, I believe. So, yeah, Don says it seems like everyone forgot about the mission where you shoot up an airport. Well, yes, I mean, that was, one of the more controversial scenes in a video game, like in all of video gaming. But apparently the majority of this game in general is supposed to be just kind of even more than that. So even worse than that even. So I don't know.
It's a fucking video game.
I know. And there's a lot of really sensitive people out there. So
That's what the problem. Yeah, everyone's fucking.
This is like I posted. It's on my profile. I posted it last night or this morning, as it were. About it's the video of the guys at IGN complaining about the game, how it's so graphic and all that stuff, which is just comical to me. But I think we're gonna call it a little early this week. I mean, it's about a quarter till. I've pretty much burnt through my stories. Unless Josh has anything he wants to talk about.
No, I'm good.
Alright. Oh, that sounds good. Either way, with all that, y'all have a wonderful weekend. We will catch you next week, same time, same place. Make sure you check out all the wonderful shows here on Vet Radio Syndicate. And come back tomorrow and check out Backwoods Veterans and all the other shows. With all that, I'm Athen.
I'm Desiree.
I'm Josh.
Check us out on social media, all that good stuff. Y'all stay freaking safe over the weekend. We'll catch you next week, same time, same place. Thank you for viewing. We love y'all faces and we love your support. Bye.